Yeah, I just had to tell the phone not to use location tags. Because sometimes I make a video at a new location that I want to keep on the down low. If I find a new sanctuary, if I find a new little grove, if I find... Effectively, yeah. See, I was never... See, how to put this. First level is kind of more... It's not spiritual. I hate the word spiritual. I hate it. It doesn't properly describe anything. It sounds too fanciful language, in other words, from a scientific bracket. I look for basically sanctuary in the very principle of what it is, functionality-wise. So, if I find, like, a natural occurring grove or a natural occurring, in, like, say in the wilderness, like, naturally occurring structure in the wilderness, for instance, a hovel. Almost, some people call it a spirit journey, but it's in the native sense it is. In the Native American sense, it very much is a spirit journey. Just like, you can tell that there's glitch time on my phone right now because, yeah, it's a temporal anomaly. And I've also have done notes, and now it's like repeatable tests on what could have been a time storm, effectively. I just learned that term this morning. Because I'm trying to find out what things are called. I go by the definition, okay? Not what the fucking label is. Form and function. Get it? Like, form and function is, I've never had lighters just blow up in my hand before. Form and function is, I can tell that it has a possible occult tie to it. In other words, other real human being, it's cross-eyed eyebrow, that is skilled in the craft, or mancies. I don't think they know mancies much well. The craft is about as good as Crayola. Once you into aeromancy, sonomancy, necromancy, geomancy, even genetic biohacking is still a mancy. That's an art and science at that point. But things like, witchcraft and all this shit, no. That's a crayon box compared to what the fuck I'm looking at. So, sonomancy still is the art and science of sound itself and its application in the world. So, if you ever wonder how the hell I can project my voice halfway across the city like that, that's how I'm doing it. It's called sonomancy. In the modern era, it's known as sonar topography, audio acoustic sciences, audio topography, as well as amplification, bandwidth precedences, and a whole other slew of words that I haven't used in so long because I haven't had anyone to even talk to about it. So I've got books that have better words for this shit that I'm still dusting back off, even though my language center was stroked out last year, so not doing too bad. This one's done it. All the little trinkets and true. And good morning conformity, of course, from a scientific standpoint on half of that. It's like all I'm doing is out here smoking tobacco, drinking my coffee. I'm debating on if I'm going to play music up and try to get breakfast going. Kind of had recycled grounds this morning, so I was like out. I was out. I'm going to check, didn't show up again as usual. What happens when I only live on $100 a week? And how many times I have to tell people that when I know that they can't hear past something out there? There is definitely an audio acoustic phenomenon out there. I just literally saw it affect the water ripples over here. So, created a wake, created a straight up ripple. It's creating little ripples on its own, but that created an actual V-line ripple straight at me from the direction I'm already detecting the disturbance, which is great news, by the way. Now I have 3 devices, and all of them Now at least 2 working ones that are good. And now I can get back to actually showing the acoustic phenomenons on screen and actually showing the electromagnetic phenomenons on screen. I'm not cleaning that up. This one doesn't have electromagnetic, is the only difference. But here's the funny thing. Now my new phone has unlimited everything, so even a hotspot. So now I can set this up and my laptop. My laptop battery needs to be replaced, but that's about it. I kind of got half the mind. It was a dummy computer set up for it the way it's been. So, but you know, that's as simple as it gets. It's like half the retards trying to use, suggestive. You do realize that hypnotic suggestions do exist, right? Sub-hypnotic, sub-hearing range. Let me get really stupid terms with you, layman. It's right below and above your hearing range. And when I smack those 2 waves together, it's a hypnotic suggestion. It's worse than a hemisync. I use this binaural beats. No, this is a high-low on both sides. So, if you understand what that military type goddamn real shit is, if y'all go cross-eyed for a minute. See, that's why, back to the original subject here to come full circle, one of these sanctuaries which are operating on that parascience level, I'm not going to call it spiritual because it lets too much to the mind. And it's not of the mind. In fact, I just watched another frickin' scientific documentary on the fact that they found, you know how I stroked out? Guess what the answer might be? Magic mushrooms. And since I don't have the same complex as most, the human condition, I spent my life facing fears, not being made by them. Pussies. Yeah, only pussies live in fear. Champions, well, they fucking conquer. And as I always say, elegance belongs to the conqueror. So, leave it in the comments below. I know I've already got to go. At this point now, I can spend limitless hours freaking fixing my YouTube channel and the dang titles, because that's about the only reason. It's a full circle. That's sanctuary on that level. That's a heart level, and the heart has an electromagnetic field. So basically, if you want to try to use knowledge base instead of an understanding and a comprehension, that's where knowledge gets in the way, where knowledge just becomes a lens. And that lens can get in the way of seeing clearly. That lens will filter out something you're going to miss. I guarantee it. It's going to change something another color that ain't. That's like trying to make red into blue. And that's what mental projectivity does, which is why I don't invest any resources in that it's parascience. Mental imagery and mental projection bullshit? No thank you. I've been against that shit since childhood, let me put it that way. In fact, that is where the saying comes from. So, when I go sanctuary level, that ain't a spirit thing, other than like in the native level. That's more harmonics and magnetics than anything, and intuition, instinct, not impulsive. So, impulse versus instinct versus cognitive awareness of the environment. It's like, I can see what you're doing, but I don't know what you're doing. Why would I waste my brain guessing? See how where I'm going cross-eyed on half that. Also doesn't help the traffic noise back there is a seizure trigger and a half. It's another reason why, back on the sanctuary thing, it'll be a quiet place where the birds will be gathering naturally, where the animals, well, hell, even the deer will approach you. Is how you level crazy shit. Like, even this is almost a remnant back here. It's like one little oasis. Think of it like finding an oasis. You can't just find it looking for it. You gotta feel it out. There can be some oases that are okay for maybe a day or two, and then suddenly, the next day, you can feel the dread. And that feeling is not to go to your mind. That feeling is to be noted only. Because it is a warning alert at that point. Now, the only thing you can do at that point is be at one with the nature around you. Not of the mind, not of the fucking flesh, but of the being itself. See where language gets in the way talking about these subject matters? Gotta love it. Because there's esoteric language for it, but it's still too fanciful for me. So that's starkly concerning, because basically, if I find a nice place and it's good, and then it finally gets attacked after I was already having premonitions, and the animal wildlife was already warning me before that, and during, that's where I go kind of military grade on it. I go military law at that point in garrison. Which is castle law, effectively. Geneva Convention. It's fucking tobacco, and if you fucking lie again, I'm gonna make sure someone backhands you today. That heard me say that, and you as well. And like last 13 minutes, you've heard me talking is because I got a YouTube channel I'm making my morning video with my coffee. That's why I kept on saying it's tobacco, ho. Because I'm trying to call you out. I'm a hoodlum. So who that? It's not hood. That's up. It's like there is one other guy that almost looks identical to me out there to a degree, but not once he takes off his gear, not once he takes off his hood, not once he takes off his jacket. Then you can tell the difference. And yeah, he was out here smoking meth. What do you think I did to him? Kicked him the fuck out. What did I get? Thrown in the fucking mashup. At least just temporarily. See, there's a difference. Back when I had a key bank card before too many people made complaints to the bank, not the payee center. It's like the bank has nothing to do with that. That was all the payee center on that. It's the reason why a lot of people quit. The administration's fucked. They got a close-knit group. They got their own inner circle going on over there. It's like, I wonder what Miss Yvonne even fucking thinks. I'm like, that check better be there for me to pick up in person. I'm gonna let the hood know. You're fucking up again, St. Paul's. During emergency SOS evacuation level goddamn fucking situations. To the degree the cops thought I was fucking lying to them. But no, only one did. Only one. The same cop is the only one that keeps making that accusation, by the way. Badging your gun, officer. You're half the reason my life's been in danger for the last 10 years. Deal with it. I've been building a case against your police department for 10 years. Don't you get? What's it mean if one of my neighbors buy me a damn coffee? Do I have to like get in and out of their vehicle to prove I'm eating? That's fucking bullshit. There's some more conformity to that. So, you know. In the end, I'm still gonna try to get something to eat. And in the end, I'm still changing the fucking name permanently, as was originally planned since high school. Actually, trade school is what inspired it because, you know, trade school found out I'm not retarded or schizo. Way too advanced, too smart, too organized. And then you realize I left shit a mess in the place I will never call home. On purpose. So I'm very familiar with pride, prejudice, and profiling. I've been actively at war with it my entire life. Bane to those who think they know. Yeah, technically I'd be Taoist by default, then Jewish, and pagan, of course. It'd be like Taoist, pagan, then Jew, at that point. Although technically, because of my Jewish background and roots, technically the Ten Commandments have been my guide the whole time. Guess which one resonated with me more than anything, as opposed to you bookworms? Thou shalt have no image before the infallible God. And I read the damn Latin version. That's what it fucking says. I've read the Hebrew version of the Ten Commandments. That's exactly what. Unknowable, infallible, undefinable God itself. So guess what that means? Everything, like down to the trees, the wind, everything becomes an embodiment of God at that point. Really simple. Just like the Tao Te Ching effectively states almost in the first page. If you're lost in desire, all you see, I forget the whole wording anyway. But when you're free of desire, yeah, basically you just see, your desire becomes a lens, back to the same concept. So all you see is what you want to see, in other words. So if you're lost in desire, you're a slave to it. Once you're free of desire, the mystery is before you. Sounds like the Ten Commandments, don't it? Like that. So as long as you got an image in front of the infallible, you'll never pay witness to it. You'll be a fool seeking a sign. How Jesus is that? As it's too lively for some people. What part of If the bitch-ass fake parents would have gotten a blood test back in high school, none of this would have happened. Now there's no way to truly prove who I am, by the way, except for internationally. That means the Canadians have more proof of who I am, my mental health and stability, and the Europeans have more proof of who I am than you ever will, America. Do you understand that? There's a reason you're a hostile country. You're stuck up your own ass. And you know it. I mean, when your Department of Defense becomes Department of War, isn't that a clear indicator of your intentions? Like you're lying through your teeth. Why don't you make it the Department of Peace then? That's word to my renegades. I know exactly what I mean. Revolutionary. Now, how easy it is to operate remotely with just the sound of my voice. It's tobacco. That's about as dumb as thinking I was talking to myself, fuck for brains. Okay, ass wipe. I could press charges for defamation. Did you know that? And I got 10 years of proof on YouTube of you motherfuckers' defamations. And character assassination. Well, I can't even get into character to try to liven things up. I almost got to go way ultra real on your asses all over again. Well, U.S. official business for real, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, fingers crossed, I don't end up getting pissed off enough to get a fucking beer on that note, too. It's about the only habit I got, other than drinking a beer to spite someone. Out of spite to punish them. No, you pissed me off first, and then I got a beer. You're out of order. Anyway, YouTube. Good morning, fucking conformity. Let's see if I can't get me a refill going on this son of a bitch.